Welcome to Fl'AwesomeBlossom. My name is Kiki, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to be your host. If you are a returning bud, well then thank you. Welcome back, and thank you so much for your continued love and support. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you for being a part of our blossoming and blooming community. Please continue to share this channel. Direct people to the website at fl'awesomeblossom.com and check out our Instagram as well. If you are new to Fl'awesomeBlossom, well then welcome. Welcome, my blooming blossom. I hope you find a little bit of whimsy here. I hope you find a little bit of inspiration here. And I hope this fills your time with joy. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm here to spread whimsy, joy, and we're going to sprinkle in some factoids of the human body here and there. All right. Last week, did you miss me? My husband and I went camping, a very Canadian thing to do. And it was a lovely, lovely week away from just everything. We came back, and as promised, we are picking up a little bit where we left off. I got a little edit happy with my last episode. I only noticed a couple days after I posted the video, and I was like, I forgot to show you my amazing Bible. And then I thought, that's actually a good thing, because I have a couple Bibles I want to show and tell you. A couple? Yeah. There's 4 Bibles in our house. And there's only 2 humans in our house, and only one of them is interested in reading the Bible, and we have 4 of them. And 3 of them are mine. Okay. The first one is my husband's, and it was gifted to him for his christening. He got christened, and he was gifted this Bible, I'm presuming, by his godparents, and it has his name embossed in the leather, and it's beautiful. It's a black leather with the red edging on the pages, but it is a zip up situation. Yeah, this Bible has like a zipper that you'd unzip, and then you open the Bible. And it's interesting because my husband only found this recently. It's been in storage for a very long time. And we were cleaning out our storage, and he finds this, and he goes like, look at this, my Bible. And it has his name on it and everything. And he was going to throw it in the garbage. Can you believe that? Me either. I wouldn't let him, so it's tucked away nice and safe. But how do I have 3 Bibles? How did that happen? Well, one was gifted to me. This one here. It's beautiful. It's a dove gray, it's leather, and it feels good in the hand. It's a solid, it's a good utilitarian kind of Bible. And you might have noticed when I held it up, it says the New World Testament of the Holy Scriptures. So I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully we can focus in on that. And that's how you know that this is a Jehovah's Witness Bible. Because they don't call it the Bible, they call it the Holy Scriptures. And I really resonate with that. I love the history of things. I'm a big fan of history. I like to know how things started, how things were, as a way of trying to explain how things are, right? So I really like the fact that they call it the Holy Scriptures, because I think it honors the true nature of the content that's in here. And also, on that note, I love language, and language is so important. On that same note, get ready, my blooming blossoms, my darling dahlias, et mes petits choux. Language is so important. Words are so important. And I want to be very clear that I'm going to be using all manner of English words, except I'm not going to use the word unalived. I'm not going to blank out emotionally heavy words. And the reason I'm not going to blank them out, I'm not going to censor them, is because I want you to feel the weight of those emotional words. I am basically telling you, I'm going to be using words that exist in the human language. Wow. I am basically telling you, I'm going to be using words from the English language, and I will not be censoring those words. Now, I'm not going to go off on some awful, biggity, terrible tirade, right? I'm not doing that. I'm not going to spew out obscenities, even though those are English words. I'm not doing that. Although I have a potty mouth and sometimes I F-bomb. So I'm going to try and work hard on not doing that. All right. So moving on, Holy Scriptures, loving language, using appropriate language, not going to be censoring. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. This is the Jehovah's Witness Holy Scriptures, really good Bible, modern language, easy to understand, great indexes in here, maps, and some further reading suggestions and how to flush things out a little bit. Also currencies, weights and measures. I find this particularly amazing because, cubit was such a big deal with the Noah story. And what's a cubit? So this will tell you. these tell you what the modern day equivalents of these things are. Love this one. Great one. Full of resources. Okay, so moving on. So buying these two Bibles, I know it sounds crazy, but when I show you, I think you're going to really understand. First and foremost, I want to let you know that I went to a local used bookstore in my community. This used bookstore is run by an absolutely fantastic lady, and she's vivacious, she's knowledgeable, and she is conscientious. When I came in, she let me browse for a moment or two, then asked me if I was looking for something specific and if she could help me find it. And I said, yes, I'm actually looking for Bibles. Do you happen to sell any? And she said, yes, I've got a couple. I've got quite a few, actually. And then she started to bring me towards the section, and then she stopped. And she said, hang on, wait a minute. What is the purpose of the purchase of this Bible? I don't want to sell you a Bible if you are going to be doing something terrible to the book. And I said, oh my gosh, no. I am looking for it for my own study, just for my own reference, but I didn't want to buy a new one. I was kind of hoping to buy a used one. And, I was romanticizing it. I was hoping to buy a used Bible that was gifted or sold, whatever. Some kid just decided, I don't need Aunt Mary's old Bible, and it goes to the bookstore to be sold. And maybe she's written all these little gems of wisdom, or there'd be something in there that the owner of the Bible would have put in there, and it would be like our little secret, and it would inspire me, and it would, move me forward in my journey, or just a great story to tell, right? Because that's my journey. I'm a storyteller. I'm on a storyteller's journey. And so I tell her all of this, and she said, okay, that's fine, because I just don't want to sell it to you if you're going to be defiling the book. And I said, no, I promise. I will be very respectful. And so then she brought me to this little section and said, she has larger ones on the very top shelf over there. But if I wanted a small one, these are the ones. So I'm browsing through, and I see a couple of the ones that, someone's just picked up from church and walked out with. Those little black ones with the red, not similar to the one that my husband has, but without the zipper. And I saw a couple of those. And then I picked up this book. And when I picked it up, I thought, oh, this has been misplaced. Look at that. It's a gorgeous tulip. It's got some serious wear along the spine where this has been opened. So when I first picked up this book, I did not think it was a Bible. I mean, there's nothing on the front that suggests that. And it's a beautiful leather, feels really good. Nothing on the back that I could see that suggested it. And I looked very cursorily at the spine. I'm not sure if you can see that. I don't know if it'll actually... There we go. Can you see that? I didn't notice it at first. And then I opened it up and it's a Bible. I was so surprised. I was super shocked. Like, oh my gosh. It's not been written in. It has a first page, presented to by doodly doo, I like the end tag here. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. That's from Psalm 119, verse 105. And I really liked it, but I thought, I'll keep looking for the one with the writing in it, for some sort of sign, as if this isn't sign enough for Fl'AwesomeBlossom. I mean, seriously, what more do I need? However, thought, I need just one more little confirmation. And as I was sort of flipping through one more time, just before I was going to put it down, I wonder if I'm going to find it again now here. There is the most perfect flaw in this book. It's a folded over page, and it's marking, if you can see that, 1 Corinthians. This is often used at weddings and such like that. But what's really cool is that this one page, it's extra. I don't know if you can see that it's like extended past where it's supposed to be. It got missed in the cutting because it got folded in on itself like this. And the fact that it is marking 1 Corinthians, it's about Thanksgiving, a church divided over leaders, Christ crucified in God's power and wisdom. That's the first part of it. That was the sign. Didn't look for another one. Put this in the basket, but I'm in a used bookstore, so I can't help myself. I have to go over to the history section and see what they got in the way of, books on history. Do they have anything on medieval history? That's my particular focus. When I was in university, I went towards a degree in medieval studies, and I was just hoping for maybe someone's lost illuminated manuscript. Illustrated manuscript. I don't know, maybe. No such luck. But I'm in that history section, and she just asked me, are you finding everything that you need? She said, I do have these larger Bibles way up top. And she said, one of them actually is a work of art. Now you've got my attention. A work of art? She said, yeah, it's an artist. I can't remember who, though. She said, it's up there. So she points me in the direction of a ladder. I grab a ladder and I get on up there. And I find this bad boy up there. Look at that gorgeousness. This is leather. This is beautiful. That's embossed. I don't know if you can see that detail here. It's really gorgeous. And the lamb with the cross, all the stars. And we can see it's the Holy Bible, right? We can see that. King James edition. What do we see at the very bottom? Michelangelo edition. Well, my blooming blossoms, mes petits choux, my darling dahlias. Do you know who I am? I'm trying to tell you. I am a scholar and a lover of art and a creative thinker myself, although my form of particular creativity expression happens to be storytelling, usually in writing, but I'm trying this in person. I'm trying this version out. But this is a work of art. She was correct. It's beautiful. The language in here is fairly old as well, so it's another reason why I like this one. But if you can see, it is almost like an illuminated manuscript. Look at the detailing. Absolutely gorgeous. This is to chronicle your marriages and your family and the births. And I want to show you, like, all of these symbols are symbols of growth and fertility in here in the floral border. Confirmations. Deaths. Check out deaths. They've got some really interesting details too. Look at the little cross on the bottom. Really beautiful. And then this I found particularly interesting. You know, military record. Check out that detail here. Look, that little Roman soldier centurion helmet. Like, that's specific, isn't it? And but what really sets this apart, of course, is all of the works of Michelangelo are woven throughout the Bible. And then, as if I hadn't already convinced myself that I was going to purchase this particular Bible, though it was a little bit expensive, completely worth it because of the artwork that comes along with it. And the fact that there's not a mark, not a single pencil mark outside of the price that was written in by the lady at the bookcase. So anyway, David. The story of David and Goliath is quite amazing. And we will talk about it another time. But here's the statue of David. And it's absolutely glorious. Can you see the divot in the shoulder blades? This piece of artwork, I got to see this in 2018 when my husband and I went to Florence for our honeymoon. And it brought me to tears. You walk into the room. I think I knew he was on a 6-foot pedestal, but I had forgotten. So when I walked into the room, I really thought I was going to be like eye to eye with David. But no, he's towering. He's the giant in the room, which I think was done on purpose. But he's the giant. That statue, that sculpture, oh, mwah, amazing. See the front. You know, I was really quite taken with his face. Look at that. Look at the expression on this face. It's a little bit fear. It's a little bit worry. It's a lot of different things going on right in this guy's face right now. And it's even more powerful in person. I'm finding the lighting and the choice of how this was done for this Bible. I know they're doing modesty stuff, and I get it, right? They didn't put the front of David because he's completely nude, and yeah, he's got a penis, and that's sculpted well as well. I mean, if you're gonna do it, do the whole thing and do the whole thing perfectly, and that's what David is. David is the epitome of a perfectly proportioned sculpture, and he is at the time he was the epitome of human male beauty, and what it meant to be a man like a young boy, but a hero, right? His physique, he's got the body of a shepherd, right? He does. He's lean and he's muscular. And that's the body of a shepherd. So when we were there, it was exceptionally impressive. You know, walk around the front, looking at everything, really looked at the face because, wow, how does marble portray fear, anxiety, righteousness, faith, and all of these things simultaneously? How do you see that out of marble? Well, you see it here. I do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Maybe you've been to Florence. Maybe you've looked David in the eye as best you can from, like, you know, down below him, and you saw something too. How it gets into stone and how it can come out. I don't know. It's a form of magic, I believe. But then I walk around the back. When I got to the back of David, I started to tear up. I really became aware of just how perfect this sculpture is. I'm a former massage therapist. I know the human body. I knew the human body then. And this, the back, the muscles, the way the muscles are indented in the scapula, in that shoulder blade area that I had pointed out earlier. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's incredible. The details, there's a vein that he gets really right. There's a muscle called serratus anterior that is along your rib cage, and it's popping out because he's holding his cudgel, I believe. And it's these muscles are depicted exactly as they would be if you saw a person standing exactly like this. So it's perfect. The proportions are perfect. The way the muscles are depicted, absolute perfection. And I believe God speaks through us, through our gifts. And he certainly gifted Michelangelo with the art of expression in painting and sculpture form. I'm getting all teary-eyed again. Man, it's just incredible. So that pretty much sold me on this particular Bible, but let's just go through some of its other amazing features. Beautiful gold pages, right? Very shiny, appeals to the magpie in me. And outside of the illustrations, outside of the David, like I mentioned, this is almost like an illuminated or illustrated manuscript. And the one thing that they chose to really, P.S., I got a bonus sermon. It was stuck in the book. It's a Christmas one. I haven't really read it. I just browsed the first little bit and was like, "Ooh, this is for Christmas time. I'm going to tuck it away till November." So we will explore this together in November. All right, but I wanted to show you this. One of the things that they really committed to was the Sermon on the Mount. Look at that. All of it is done in this illustrated manuscript kind of way. And it's stunning. It's glorious. It's the second most beautiful version of this that I've ever seen. Second, what's the first? Glad you asked. The first is the Book of Kells out of the University of Trinity College, Dublin. And in the winter of 1996 and spring of 1997, I was living in Ireland and I was looking for a job. That's a whole other story. But anyway, just this part. Every day that I went into Dublin to look for a job, at some point I would make my way to the college. And at that time, I don't know if they still do it now, but at that time, if there was a student going into the library, they could sign you in as a guest and you could go and see the Book of Kells for free. And I was poor. I needed a job. I just moved to a country for a man. Anyway, whatever. And I went and saw it a lot. I probably saw 8 pages altogether in the 4 months that I was there. And it was spectacular. Each time I went and saw it, it was beautiful. Even though I was seeing the same pages. And at one point, the curator recognized me and was like, "Are you a student here?" And I was like, "No, I am not, but I'm a fan." Anyway, it was quite amazing. That's the Book of Kells. This is my book. This is the Holy Book. This is an authorized King James version. And we're going to talk a little bit about how the Bible was weaponized. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But that's not today's episode. Today's episode was all show and tell. Also, what do you think of my beautiful duster? What do you think of this? Doesn't this give you all the summer vibes you could ever want? And because now I have these fabulous mobile microphones, Fl'awesomeBlossom's going to get out there in the community. So I'm going to take you to the shop where I bought this. And I'm going to take you back to Hopcott's, and we're going to check out Fanny the cow in her summer attire. In the meantime, my blooming blossoms, mes petits choux, and my darling dahlias, I do hope that you are out there living your life in full Fl'awesome. And until next time, why don't you go check out Fl'awesomeBlossom.com? Maybe there's a new blog post. Maybe. Check it out. In the meantime, I hope that you are out there living your life in full Fl'awesomeBlossom, and I will see you next time.